Vignette number 32 from Zen Is Right Here, Teaching Stories and Anecdotes of Shunryu Suzuki. Next to the temple on Bush Street was a grocery store run by an old woman. Suzuki Roshi used to buy the old vegetables there. Finally, one day, the woman said, "Here are some fresh ones. Why don't you take them?" "Well, the fresh ones will be bought anyway," he answered her. That is from Suzuki's wife, Mitsu Suzuki. And that happened I have here San Francisco, circa 1964. No, that's a mistake. I just paused this and sent an email to Shambhala, because these books, Zen Is Right Here is coming out again next year, hardback again with the sequel to it. Working title Zen Is Right Now. And so I'm able to make a few little tiny changes. And I'm going to change that to 1961 because she put an end to that right away and wouldn't let him buy vegetables. And she arrived in June of 61. So I'm pretty sure that's when that happened. Now, that's the way his father was. Overall, they'll all be, not just Zen, any temples, they'll be very careful with their food and not to waste. But he took it to extremes. His father would pick up, cabbage leaves or whatever that had fallen off the produce wagon that was going by. There's an old Zen story that two monks were they were visiting a temple. They wanted to see if the master was a true teacher and had strong, pure practice. And so they're on their way to the temple, and there's a creek running from the temple down by the road they're on, and they see a cabbage leaf floating down the creek. And they go, that's it. These people are careless, don't respect vegetables, and they don't respect their food, which Dogen said we should treat his food as carefully as we treat our eyes. So they just turned around, to walk away. But then a monk came running down the road with a stick and chasing the cabbage leaf to, save it. And they nodded to each other and continued on to the temple. I understand this because it's a little bit like I was raised. My mother's family was Texas German. She's pure German. She was pure German. And you know what? She looks like Queen Elizabeth. She looked like Queen Elizabeth. I always say, my mother looked like Queen Elizabeth and my father looked like Gorbachev. But we did not waste. And I remember when I was a little kid, my mother getting really angry at, some little tiny bit of waste. So it was drummed into me. And I've always been extreme. I tend to buy bent cans. I know it just what it's like. But So Suzuki talked about this several times in his lectures, and he said he'd feel sorry for the bad ones. Anyway, I bought some. I was in a grocery store the other day, sort of like a little supermarket, one that not many foreigners go to. And they have the cheaper prices, and they have pretty good display. So I got some ZIRH, green vegetables. I mean, it's just a type of spinach, it looked to me like. It was very big, and they were getting sort of old. They had a little bit of holes in them. They weren't turning yellow out of that. They were so good that night. It was just like really good spinach. But another thing I got, they had these Western-looking perfect bananas like you'll see in Safeway, with little oval stickers on them. I didn't want them. They have some great bananas here. Next to those bananas that all look perfect in yellow, there were some shorter, fatter bananas that looked like they were going bad. There were black spots all over them. Some of the black areas were pretty large. And I took a bunch of them. Now, I did not take them because I felt sorry for them. I took them because I know bananas. And those are pisang susu, milk bananas. And they're great. And not just that, they can look bad on the outside and they'll be good on the inside. But another thing I've found is there's hardly a banana I can't eat. It can be black, completely black on the outside. That means a different thing with different types of bananas. But it can be the type of black where it's going to be like black on the inside. And I'll just fry it. It tastes great. And I've taken bananas that Katrinka threw out. She'd put them on top of her little compost container in the kitchen with mold on them. Totally black, soft, with, mold growing on the outside. And they can be eaten. Actually, they can be eaten without cooking. But they're a little challenging that way, and I find if I fry them or if I mix them with something, they're fine. But these I got yesterday, they were fine. Respecting food and not wasting food, to me, is an essential part of temple life. Now, I have been in kitchens in recent years, and I will not say where they're bringing pots to be washed that have food still in them. And that's just not acceptable. They shouldn't allow that to happen. To me, you get every grain of rice out of the pot. Suzuki felt that way too. Yeah, he took after me. No, I mean, I felt very at home going to a place that, getting into a practice that emphasized respect toward food, not wasting food. I do not like playing with food. I don't like playing with food scenes in movies, except that one in Animal House. I mean, that's classic. But, and I don't like wasting food like, the meat dress and stuff like that. I mean, especially if it's meat. I mean, you're killing it. Well, never mind. You get the point. Buddha said that plants were not sentient beings. The Jains said they are. And he had a debate with the founder of the Jain group on that subject. And I'm sure in the Buddhist history, Buddha won, and in the Jain history, the Jain guy won. But it doesn't matter. Everything's, I mean, really, in my understanding of Suzuki, I don't know, it's not an understanding, it's the way I deal with things. Everything is a sentient being. I have a favorite spoon that I like to eat with. And if I bypass other spoons for it, I apologize to the other spoons. And sometimes I use them too, because I don't want them to feel left out. And, I've heard of things in Japan, like little ceremonies where they bury, pencils that were down to the stove and things that are not being used. And I like that. And Suzuki had that point of view, to take care of everything. This has been a Cuke Audio mini podcast. I'm DC, Poobah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from Sleepy Sanur with Dogette Bandita and Feline Cuchita, and very soon with dear lovely Katrinka. Wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.